I was starting to think about that when I left producing. I was like, if I ever want to get married and have kids, this is not a lifestyle that would be okay for me. I looked at my bosses and they were either like female single in their 40s or they were away from their kids for like months at a time.
Oh gosh,
and like, I can't, this would not, I'm very fortunate that my parents were both so present in my upbringing. And some women do it, superwoman, like it's amazing.
Yeah.
But I knew for myself that there was burnout. There was a lot of burnout happening and all that. That I was like, A, if I ever want to get married and have kids, I need to leave and figure out something else.
Mm-hmm.
And B, I have a deeper purpose in my life than producing reality TV.
And my heart stops, not a second sooner. I'm gonna finish what I've begun, 'cause my heart's got a reason to believe in me in a dream, and whatever may come. And as long as I'm breathing, I'll keep believing that I'm not done until my heart stops.
I think it's no secret that I love the Little Words Project bracelets. I have about 6 or 7 on my arm, ones that have been given to me, ones I've bought myself. I love giving them as gifts. I think they're so inspirational for me personally. They're nice little reminders throughout my day to have hope, to be, have strength, to be in good energy. I just love the bracelets so much. I love giving them. I love receiving them. And if you want to check them out and you want to give it as a gift or get one for yourself, you can use our code QTC for 15% off your first order.
Hi guys, welcome back to this episode of Quiet the Clock. I'm very excited to have our next guest here because we've been trying to do this for, I think, well over a year. I've been trying to have you on.
Probably a couple years. Yeah.
Well, Julie LaPlaca, welcome to Quiet the Clock, Julie LaPlaca.
Thank you.
Yeah, it probably has. We had an initial phone call. But I think what's been really great is that I don't know, for us, it felt really important to do this in person. And while we could have done this virtually, we were trying to coordinate whether it was me in California or you here in New York. So
yeah, it's nice to meet you in real life. I feel like I know you so
I feel like I know you too. I've been following you and watching all the things. And I know so much life has happened since you and I first talked. And I have a lot of things I want to talk to you about today.
Yeah.
But I thought we'd first dive into your egg freezing story, which you shared so openly on social media. And it's always so powerful when people share their stories because it's so inspiring to other women. It's so informative and it's so helpful. So I'd love to start there because you froze at 39, correct?
39. Yeah. I did my trigger shot on my 39th birthday.
Oh,
I was like, talk about a whole new meaning of shots on your birthday. I was
seriously
like, shots.
As we're talking about clubbing off.
I know. Yeah. So it's, for me, I've never been someone who's thought like ticking clock. I'm like, it's going to happen when it happens. And I was in a 5-year relationship, like 27 to 32, the one I thought was going to be the one. And when that ended, it kind of crossed my mind, but I was like, oh, I have plenty of time. And
that's interesting to have that. I feel like most people, which is great to have that mindset because I feel like most people, similar to you, I ended a relationship in my early 30s while I watched everybody else get married. And I kind of fell into the camp of like, I'm running out of time. So it's great at 32 because I truly think 32 is still so very young. So it's great at 32. You were still like, okay, I have time.
Yeah, I thought so. that was I was like, by 40, I'll definitely be married and have kids, Like right now I'm just focusing on my career. And I dived into my career. And the truth is I didn't even have time to think about going and doing the consultation because I was just traveling the world helping everyone else find love.
Yes, which I want to talk about. We'll get into your work, your previous work.
Yeah. And slightly neglecting my own self, right? And so finally, and the truth is after that relationship, I started to kind of go back and forth about whether I even wanted kids, which is a shocker for me. I always just imagine I was going to, get married and have kids. But I think when that ended, I was like, oh my God, I totally would have married this guy, had kids, and then it probably wouldn't have worked out in the long run. And I don't want to get into that situation again with someone else.
Right.
I don't know. So, I went through my own internal dialogue and I was just like, I'll trust the universe. So anyway, I dived into my career and then I left. I had my mid-30s, like, what am I doing in my life? If I ever want to get married and have kids, I need to leave because I had no time. It was really hard to date when I was living out of a suitcase like half the year.
Yeah.
And so anyway, then I went on a whole spiritual journey. I fell in love with a guy who wanted kids, and then I got excited about kids again. And that was when I also knew he wasn't in a place where he was going to want them anytime soon.
Okay.
And so I really started to think more. I mean, it had been in the back of my mind. It was always kind of in the back of my mind.
I think it kind of is for most women that are want children and haven't been in a situation where that's happening yet, or they're on the fence. I think it's always, at least for me, and so many of the guests that I've spoken to, kind of sits there, whether it's like forefront or not. It's kind of
it's always
there.
It's always there. It's this weird sort of cloud over you, and then I start to realize, oh wow, like you have this imaginary clock that we've been told through society, and it's like once you're 40, you're done. So that's like what I heard, and so it's like, oh okay. You want to date tradition. I always hated the idea of dating with like an agenda.
Yeah.
For me, I want to meet someone, connect with them, and take it at the right pace. Where I know people that were in their later 30s being like, on the first date, this is what I want. I want it in the next year. And I like applaud them. I'm like, that's so amazing. You are focused and you do it. I'm like, that's just like never been how I am. I just want to be in the moment, which for better or worse, I don't know. But anyway, so it finally was like, okay, to relieve sort of that internal clock and pressure that we've been fed by society, even though I trust the universe and trust in the divine timing and that if it's going to happen, it's going to happen. I'm like, let me do this little security plan.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so, so the process for me was I first like had my gyno just check my numbers like the year before or a year and a half before really. And my numbers were really good. I was super fortunate and grateful to see that. And I think maybe because they were good, I was like, oh, okay, I'm chilling for a little bit.
I have more time. Yeah.
That was probably at 37 or maybe 38. Yeah, I'm like, all right, there's still a couple of years there. And then I was in that relationship and I was like, oh, if I marry him, it's going to be a while before we have kids because
that was my question. So while you're kind of doing consultations, thinking about egg freezing, you're still in this relationship.
Yeah, I think actually, I guess it was when I first met him, it was around the same time that I like had asked my gyno to test my numbers.
Okay.
Yeah. And then we started dating, and then it was after we broke up that I finally did it. Yeah.
What was that? Was the breakup a little bit of the catalyst to do it, or was more the age, or you just felt more ready? You
want to know what was actually making me put it off for the longest time was I have a terrible fear of needles.
Oh, me too. Me
oh my God, bless your heart. You've had to do it so many times.
Every day, still needles. Yeah.
I used to pass out every time I got a shot.
Oh yeah. Oh, yeah. I'll tell you this, like I don't know how you felt about it, but like as someone that has had to do so many needles and still does because I take Lovenox for this pregnancy, I'll never get used to it. It never gets better for me.
Yeah. Well, I did hypnotherapy.
Oh, you did?
Yes.
And it helps?
It was amazing.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay, that's helpful for women out there to know because fear of needles is a very real thing and it is a very valid reason to put something like this off.
Yeah. It was literally, I was like, I'll never be able to do this. I can't and I live by myself and I was going to have to do it myself. And I'm like, I can't. I literally pass out when I go and get needles, which sounds so silly. I know there's so many more painful things.
No. It's a real thing. I was
like, how am I supposed to do this? And so I'm a hypnotherapist. I don't know if you know that.
No, I didn't know that.
Okay. I'm a hypnotherapist.
Wait, what do I need?
On my journey after leaving my job, I started, I went to my sister was a retired producer turned hypnotherapist when she had kids. And she's like, what can I do for a living where I could create my own schedule? And I was starting to think about that when I left producing. I was like, if I ever want to get married and have kids, this is not a lifestyle that would be okay for me. I looked at my bosses and they were either like females single in their 40s, or they were away from their kids for like months at a time.
Oh,
And
gosh,
like, I
yeah.
can't, this would not, I'm very fortunate that my parents were both so present in my upbringing. And some women do it, superwoman, like it's amazing.
Yeah.
But I knew for myself that there was burnout. There was a lot of burnout happening and all that. That I was like, A, if I ever want to get married and have kids, I need to leave and figure out something else.
Mm-hmm.
And B, I have a deeper purpose in my life than producing reality TV. But at the time, I was like, oh my God, mid-30s meltdown. And so...
was it scary for you to leave something that you'd done for so long and something that was so familiar, even if it wasn't sort of aligning with how you saw future self, relationships, or how it would support a family? I work with so many women and have had so many guests on that kind of realize where they are in their career is not it. But there is this fear to leave something that is familiar or secure or known.
Yes. Yes. It was a journey after I left, because I realized now how my body went to complete fight, flight, freeze mode. Because when your identity is so tied to something, and a show so many people love.
Yes.
It was my dream job that I manifested. I've always been really good at that, and it was so amazing. And I had so many amazing opportunities, but I knew on like a deeper soul level that I was meant for something more in this life. And then I also knew if I ever wanted my own love story that I needed to like go out and figure out what that was. So I embarked on my own journey for love, and it was like really hard. And I had a complete identity crisis, and I didn't know what I was doing. But I was trusting like this inner voice, and I kind of embarked on a spiritual journey. I started studying hypnotherapy and diving into the power of the subconscious mind.
Yeah, so powerful.
And then, when it comes to even like dating and relationships, I was on a show getting people to be super vulnerable and share their heart with me. And I had to look at my own patterns and why I wasn't doing that in my own life. And so hypnotherapy was super powerful for that, to understand like how, our subconscious minds are formed in our childhood, from our first examples of love, our first relationships, and, how I put a shield up after that first heartbreak and, kept on a subconscious level attracting, emotionally unavailable men and all that.
It's so interesting to think about the choices we make and how our subconscious influences that, or influences like this need to protect ourselves, right? So you throw yourself into this job that doesn't really allow space or time for relationship. And then you're helping other people find relationships. For how many years were you a producer?
7 years.
For 7 years. Yeah.
And it becomes your life, and then the time I didn't realize I'm like a bit of an empath. And so I'm also like, my emotions got so entangled with their emotions.
Yeah.
It's really,
I bet it was intense.
It's intense. Yeah. Beautiful. Like, I'm very grateful for the experience, for sure. Yeah. I feel like we went on a tangent.
We did. But that's fine. That's fine. That's fine. But just stepping away from something that was so familiar and was so, it sounds like, ingrained in part of your identity, but just so brave. I do want to acknowledge that, because so many of us get stuck in spaces and places or with people that feel really hard to leave, even though there is this pull or true knowing that there is something else. So brave to kind of walk away. And a very popular show, a very loved show, it's very brave to walk away from something like that, to start to explore really what feels more aligned.
Yeah, thank you.
Really, really brave.
Thank
So just to circle back to the egg freezing, so you did the hypnosis to help with the fear of needles.
Yes.
Did you have anyone help you do the shots, a friend or anyone, or you kind of did the hypnotherapy and like braved it on your own?
I did every single shot on my own.
Wow, good job.
Okay, no, my nieces helped me one time. We had a shot party one time. They pretended they were going to help me, and then as soon as I actually pulled the needle out, they ran away.
Like, we're out.
Yeah, but no, actually injecting it, I did them all on my own.
Good for you.
I know. Thanks.
How did you feel at 39? There's a mix of emotions. I felt so many. I know so many of the guests that I've had on, like some women will say it's like an empowering experience. For myself, I would not have said that was an empowering experience. It was more of a, the physical part aside, but emotionally it was more of a very hard experience because it's not where I thought I would be. I didn't feel like it was a choice. I felt like I had to do it because I was up against the clock. And so that doesn't create a space for like empowerment. I'm curious for you, what was like the emotions behind the experience at 39?
Yeah, I was really emotional. Yeah, you reflect, there's a lot of reflecting in your late 30s, and now I'm 40. And you have this idea of what your life is going to look like. And it's in something, my parents got married at 20 and 22 and are still together. And I'm super grateful and blessed for that. I grew up in that very like traditional, home.
Yeah. Same.
And so most of my friends from high school married their high school sweethearts or college, so all my weddings were checked off in like late 20s, but then there's also a part of me, I've also gone to I've had a lot of friends go through divorces, and, I went to my 20-year high school reunion, and I saw that live, and I really admire actually a lot of people are still together and they have their families. But I looked at it and I realized like, oh, I'm really grateful for this non-traditional life I've had. I didn't necessarily look at, I realized why that wasn't my path. Like I've done so many amazing things in my life. I've traveled the world. And so I'm grateful for my unconventional life, but also, yes, there is this like, I think it's more like I feel confident in myself. I feel confident and trust in my body.
Yeah.
It's more like this. I get insecure about like men thinking I'm too old and then not wanting to date me, or men. I know it's terrible. Or men are afraid to date me because that means like I'm going to expect them to propose to me in a year.
Right. It's got to move fast. Yeah.
And like, I don't know. I get insecure about that. I think is like, for me, I feel okay, but I like worry about them.
So, yeah.
So I don't know. Maybe I don't feel okay. I don't know.
You're like, it's all, wait a second. So does it mean you're currently out in the dating world? Is that?
I am out in the dating world. Yeah.
Okay. And so does that come up, like talking about age and timelines and yeah, it does. And do men express the fear around?
I really just recently like started dating more again.
Okay.
I was writing my book and I was like on deadline. So I went into hermit mode for a while. And I also know actually that for my healing journey, I needed to get it all out of me. And then like once I was done, I was like, okay, I'm open. And now like, the men have been, they're drawing in.
Good. Yeah, good.
But yeah, no, it's, I believe everything is energy, and that, you draw in who's meant to come to you at that time. And so I'm, I do my best to surrender and trust and know that if that guy dwindles away, it's not the right guy. But, of course, you can't help but.
Of course.
Sometimes.
I think that's so human and so normal. It's like just allowing all the emotions to exist at once. And of course, there'll be insecurity or there'll be doubt, but there'll also be like confidence and trusting and knowing. But yeah, I think they all can coexist together. And that's like totally, totally normal.
Non-duality of life. And you can be this. I'm confident and trust and love myself and know that the right guy is going to energetically align with me. And at the same time, you could get in your head and
totally
have,
I think, yes. I mean, even as someone who's like dedicated my work now to kind of having these types of conversations and being in trust and surrender. And I've been through this multiple times with like meeting my partner at 34 and it all knowing it and knowing it all worked out in the time that it should. And then becoming a mom at 40, again, like this really amazing validation that like your timing is your own and it's meant to happen. And even knowing that going into the secondary infertility journey, I was so caught up on the time and trying to control and trying to force and was totally not in surrender and trust when I knew that that's what really works.
I know you get annoyed with your mind. Your mind could be your worst villain, right? And your own story. And well, I listened to your podcast about your beautiful baby to
Thank you.
be.
Thank you.
And it literally brought tears to my eyes.
thank
It's
you.
like, honestly, and it's so brave of you to share your story and all the struggles. And
Thank you.
I'm so sorry for all you've gone through, but the story of your son just knowing that
Isn't that wild?
his brother was in there.
Yeah.
I have full
Isn't
body
that?
chills.
I know.
It's so powerful. It's,
It's like that intuitive, like this uncorrupted, vulnerable mind that's like still intuitive and like, yeah, they know. They definitely know.
yeah, kids are very tapped in, I
Yes.
think. I've been on this very spiritual journey, and before society teaches us that we're not. And they totally know. My older sister, when my mom was pregnant with her third, she got pregnant at 39 with big gap between, our younger sister's 9 years younger than me.
Mm-hmm.
She got pregnant at 39 like that, and this was in the early 90s.
Yeah.
And my older sister, who's 2 years older than me, said, "Mom, you're pregnant. I had a dream you're pregnant. You're pregnant." And they had like literally just found out.
It's so true.
Yeah.
But it's so true what you said too about like what before like society tells us. And I think that's a lot of sort of the undoing we have to keep pushing forward is all these narratives and all these things that society tells us we should do or we should have. And I've seen it create so much anxiety, myself included, for so many people of like, well, it was supposed to look like this. And society tells you it should look like this in this one traditional path or blueprint, where so many women and men too are not on that path.
Yeah. I hate that, like, my friend who got pregnant at 39, they called her geriatric.
Yeah, I was geriatric. Yes, me too. Geriatric. Yeah. Isn't that crazy?
Yeah. I hate that.
Yeah, I think there's still a lot of work to be done. And I think you posted about this too, about, even just the fertility world and space telling us that we're too old or that we should have done this sooner. I think you did post something about that of like, maybe a friend had done it sooner or the doctor had said you should have done it sooner. And, sometimes life does not afford that opportunity. And maybe it's because we are dialed into our career, or we're nervous, or we don't have the finances, or we're just not emotionally ready to do that. And so I think it's just such a bad message to women that you should do this now, or it's too late, or you're doomed.
Yeah. I've had friends be told that, well, there's no point in doing them now.
Yeah. Yeah.
At like 39 years old. Like,
yeah.
Like that's so wrong. And then can we also talk about men and
yes,
their fertility?
Yes.
I mean, I saw something and, they don't talk about that, but like sometimes it's the man. You probably know the stats better than me.
A lot of it's almost 50% of the time.
Yeah.
A lot more research and data is coming out about male fertility. And, we're not talking enough about female fertility. We don't know enough about female reproductive health and fertility. There's still so much to learn and to know. And yeah, I mean, it's conversations we're having now, but we're not having enough about male fertility and fertility. it hasn't come out yet, but I just interviewed a male fertility doctor. So I do think it's important that we do talk about that because they are 50% of the equation, but it feels like the burden falls on us. The biological clock and pressure falls on us to go and like freeze the eggs or get pregnant now, or just feel that pressure, where men, like, there is the narrative out there. It's like the opposite narrative for men of like, oh, you can have kids whenever, which is not actually true.
Yeah. Yeah. It's so much easier for them to put their sperm in a freezer.
Yes, way less involved.
Yeah.
So for you at 39, would you say was an overall a good experience? Like, what would you say to somebody that is either in their mid-30s, maybe not ready to freeze your eggs? Like, would you say yours is a story that's like reassuring and hopeful that you can do it later?
Yes. To be honest, I think overall I had a really great experience, and I'm really grateful for that. I heard a lot of horror stories leading up to it. Even my friends tell me it was so painful and the bloating, and it was the worst experience of their life. I'm really, really fortunate. I did it with Kind Body. They were They were actually really wonderful. I had a great experience. I almost like got sad, like not going back there. It's so weird because like, you know, you're going there every other day and you get so close with them, literally, and you know, and they were super helpful. I know you've had some horror stories.
Oh God, yes, more to share on that.
Yeah,
really.
I'm so sorry. It was a really beautiful experience for me. And I think also because I've been going through the spiritual journey, I had like that for me. Like every night I did Reiki in my womb and I listened to like guided follicle meditation. And I kid you not, like I was doing Reiki and I was like feeling energy in there. It was really powerful.
I bet.
So I felt like I was just so much more tapped in with my body when I did the egg freezing. And you talk about timing. And, you know, if I had done it in the middle of the chaos of my job,
forget it.
I would have not been there. So I think like from a spiritual standpoint, it was the right time for me. And then it also just made me like, after I was done, there's just like such a release of this internal pressure.
Yeah. I felt the same after freezing my eggs at 37 because I was so anxious about the clock and the timing. And I was surrounded by people that were like on their third baby, you know, and I was just like, when or if is this going to happen? And I felt that relief too. It just kind of like put it like further in the peripheral, like not front and center of life. So that relief was real. Yeah. I'd love for you to share more kind of about your spiritual journey and maybe other things that you helped prepare your maybe unconventional things besides Reiki and meditation that you did for your body. Because I do think there's so much power to things like that. And I've interviewed, seen, worked with so many women, myself included, that we are in this like rat race of life. We're like so sucked into this hustle culture, not even realizing what that's doing to our mind, body, and spirit. And I know for me, you know, my secondary infertility journey, I was full steam ahead with work in my career, piling on more things, trying to do a fertility journey. And finally, I forget after which miscarriage, and I'm like, this is not working. I cannot keep doing all of these things. But I see so many in the most incredible way, very like type A, super ambitious, highly successful women finding themselves in these situations to go freeze their eggs. And we're kind of doing it in the midst of the chaos. And it's very difficult to kind of slow down and pause and focus on our body and these experiences.
You know, I'm very fortunate that when I was working, I saved up enough money that I almost had a little bit of like cushion of like, okay, I could work on myself for a little bit. And I was still like freelancing and doing random stuff. But so I was able to actually take that time for myself. But you know, you talk about the chaos of life, and the thing is like how when you're disconnected from your body's always speaking to you. So like, you know, when I was producing and not sleeping and working 20-hour days, you know, you're in the shower and I'm pulling out chunks of hair. I'm waking up in my cold AC room in piles of sweat, you know, and my eye would be twitching for like 2 weeks at a time. Your body's talking to you.
Oh my gosh.
Your body is talking to you that something's not right. And I'm very fortunate that like I had enough awareness to know it was time to get out of that chaos.
Wow.
You know, I know other people who have like had worse health things happen that were in it and almost forced to slow down. So I'm fortunate that I stepped away and I worked on myself. And so, I mean, in terms of once I was coming up to the egg freezing, what I did, let's see. I mean, you know, Kind Body offered like a consult to talk about like holistic eating.
That's amazing.
And vitamins. Yeah.
That's amazing.
So I had like a Zoom with like a lady and they gave me like a whole like diet recommendations, holistic
I'm so
foods.
Thrilled to hear that.
Yeah. And all their like supplement suggestions. So I did all that, which I mean, it's a long list. I'm sure you know it. Yeah.
It's extensive.
You know, I had an IUD for birth control and they said, you know, there's no like hard facts on that it improves to have it removed, but you know, it's up to you. You know, some people do believe that taking it out could improve your count. And so I did. So I removed that like a month and a half before. And even like starting those supplements and taking my IUD out a month and a half before my like follicle count going into it increased by like, I never know to say numbers and stuff, but it increased by a good amount.
That's great.
Yeah. Just by doing that for a month and a half.
That's nice to hear too, because I think, you know, for me, myself included, like the process, the decision to get to whether you're going to take this big, you know, endeavor of freezing your eggs, for me, it took forever. And then when I was finally at a yes, I'm like, I want to do it now.
Yeah.
And so to know that you really only potentially need a month and a half or maybe even two months to kind of get your body or to do things to optimize your outcome is helpful, because I feel like once the decision is made, or I'm that type of person, I was like, I have to do it immediately.
Well, it's funny because I actually really wanted to do it before I turned 39. It was like in my head, I'm like, I gotta do it before I turn 39. And I mean, I started the conversations in the summer. I don't know why it took so long. And then finally, when I did like my official consult, it was like November. And I'm like, we could do it in December if you want, but it would have been over Christmas. I'm like, no, okay, let's just wait till January. And then like literally it ended up being right on my birthday. That's what I was doing for my birthday.
Wow. Wow.
But it kind of seemed like symbolic in a way. Yeah.
And doing it, had you gotten to a place where you were full yes on kids, or like still undecided and just felt like this was a good proactive decision to preserve the choice?
Yeah. I wouldn't say I was a full yes. I think I'm a most likely yes. I think for me, it's always been more important to find the right life partner and see if it feels right for us.
Yeah, I love that.
Yeah. I feel like pretty deep in my heart that I'm meant to be a mother. And that I'm going to be a mother. I think sometimes it's still like a little bit like, oh, well, I might not be. But that's the false narrative.
Yeah, false narrative.
Yeah.
I think what happens sometimes is that, or I've definitely seen myself included, is like we can be so limited in our vision of the how that happens, right?
Yeah.
And can we just be in the trusting of like, I love how you just said that, like I meant to be a mother, I will be, and kind of leaving the how up to the universe and kind of the trust and faith in that. I think we have this desire to control the how so much that we end up putting so much pressure on how that will happen. And I think there's so much beauty and ease, and I'm not saying it's easy, and just letting the how kind of come to be and figure itself out.
Yeah. That's why you're so inspiring.
I still can't even believe. Yeah. I mean, I truly believe that this is how it was. It all makes sense now. But if I'm being honest, in the thick of things, like there was doubt, there was sadness, there was anxiety, there was, a lot of doubt. But, you know, now it always happens that way where, you know, it unfolds up perfectly how it's supposed to. And you're like, oh, okay, it all makes sense.
Yeah. It's so empowering. It really is.
Yeah.
Because I think sometimes I get nervous about kids because I'm like, oh, I have a lot coming up. I don't think I'm ready to, even if I met someone who's like, yeah, let's do it. I'm like, well, I need a little time, I want to, So then I start to calculate. I go back to it.
Math,
and I'm like, yeah.
I know.
But no, I'm in a pretty good place of like believing that if it's meant to be, it'll be. And in my heart, I have a feeling it's going to be. Yeah.
Yeah. And staying connected to that. Is so,
and you talked about how your eggs, none of that even worked.
Didn't work.
Which I'm so sorry. And also, like, I almost feel like deep in my heart, I don't think I'm going to need my eggs. Maybe that's naive of me. But as you said, like, I don't know.
I just think I don't want to go in too much of a tangent because I have more questions for you. Okay. But I'm very much excited to share all I've learned through my fertility journey, because I just think we're so unaware of all we can do to improve our health, our fertility health. Becoming naturally pregnant at 44, people will tell you that's like unheard of, but that actually happens more than they're letting us know. And it is very possible to heal your body. I mean, there were reasons that I was miscarrying. There were reasons that transfers weren't working. Like my body was inflamed. I had a couple autoimmunes. There were things that I had to work on and I had to heal but it's very possible to do that. And that's the information that we're not getting unless we find it ourselves.
Yeah. Yeah.
So all that to say is like there is
It's totally
time.
possible.
It's totally possible.
P.S. Time is an illusion anyway.
Yes, exactly. Exactly.
It is. And like our age is just as much mindset. And actually I brought some studies about hypnotherapy that has helped with fertility. Like even like the embryo transfers that like one study where it doubled the success rate.
That is so interesting. Yeah, can you share a little more about that? Because I think when people think about like supplemental or supportive things, we go to like acupuncture, which I did and I love and I think is so amazing. But I don't know if I've heard anyone do hypnotherapy.
I really so strongly believe in it, and I wish it. Sometimes people see hypnotherapy on like the movies in Hollywood and think of it as like, you're gonna make me cluck like a chicken, and it's so much more than that. It's about getting your mind into this relaxed theta brainwave state where that filter between our conscious mind and our subconscious mind is open to absorb in information, right? And our subconscious dictates, they say like 88% of our day-to-day beliefs and decision makings. And so like, if you've been fed this narrative that I can't get pregnant or, it's not going to work for me, that's 88% of your mind believing that.
Wow.
And so in hypnotherapy, it's getting you in that relaxed state where your subconscious is open to absorbing information as truth and reality. It's just like the power of manifesting, right? And so when you're in that state, it's like, okay, what do you want to believe? This is working for me. My body is a vessel. I could create life, whatever it is that you want to believe. It's just putting in those beliefs when you're in like a meditative state. And through doing it while you're in that state and through repetition, like when I was doing my needle, like my belief that the needles were empowering, they're creating life, I listened to like the recording every night, like the month leading up to it.
Yeah.
So through repetition and through these deepener, this being in this hypnotic state, your subconscious is going to do it just believes what it believes, like whether for better or worse, that, what it's been fed. So when it's in that state, putting in these beliefs that you are totally capable, it's really powerful.
Wow.
And you see change fast. That's the thing.
Oh, sweet. Is this the work you're doing now?
Well, sort of, not specifically for fertility. Like when
Because I feel like people will be lining up at your door.
I know. Maybe I'll start doing it more. It is my focus is on helping women to step into like the leading lady role of their life, right? I was a TV producer for years. I was telling people stories, and now it's sort of blending these two worlds. So I studied hypnotherapy and coaching and a bunch of different holistic modalities. And so now I'm the love producer, and I help empower women to fully to rewrite their narratives, right?
Yeah, amazing.
And so we do look at the backstories, just like if you were the Bachelorette, let's look at your backstory. But actually, what are those stories you've been telling yourself? For example, if you say there's no good men out there, on a subconscious level, you believe there's no good men out there.
Yes.
So what are you attracting? No good men.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
Love never works for me. If you believe that, then love's never going to work for you. And so, I do hypnotherapy to help reprogram those beliefs so that they fully love themselves and fully, believe that they're attracting what's meant for them. And what is that? What is it that they want,
Yeah.
And looking at those patterns of, have they always attracted a certain type of guy or whatever? But, sometimes we might go down this path of fertility or just, age and, actually, no, let's rewrite that narrative. You're totally capable, your timeline has not run out.
Right. It's not too late.
Yeah. So it's
so wild to think about, because I think we all walk around with these narratives or these subconscious thoughts that guide our day, like you said, but to think it's 88%. And most of the time they're not the ones that are empowering.
Yeah.
And telling you you're capable or you're not too late or, this is meant for you.
Yeah.
That's amazing work. I love that.
Thank you.
I love that. We all need that.
Yeah. I kind of found a fun way to blend my old world and my new, and like to actually help people on their journey for love, which really to me is like a journey within and
Totally.
a spiritual journey. Yeah.
Yeah. And I imagine too, it's just unlocking sort of these limiting beliefs and these limiting perspectives of what life has to look like or should look like or what love should look like. And, so more often than not, it doesn't look like how we imagine. It's not the person we imagined. It's not the timeline we imagined, but it's better than what we imagined. And if we allow for that, it can be really, really amazing.
Yeah.
So you shared you just turned 40 this year, the beginning of this year.
Yeah.
And you
I'll be 41 by the time this airs.
Yes. The 40s are pretty good, I have to say. The 40s are pretty good. But you also put up this amazing post that talked about sort of this celebratory parts of turning 40 and then holding the grief. And I thought that was really amazing. Again, sort of space for both and these two different emotions and dynamics. And I'd love for you to speak a little bit more what it was like to kind of enter into 40 and more about that post of like, there are amazing things to celebrate, but there is also some grief.
Yeah. Thank you. Yeah, it's really an interesting time for women, right? I'm very proud of myself that I like actually took the time to reflect on like who I am on a soul level and like what, for so long I'm always I think a joyful, like positive person. And, I'm always like, go, go, go and making everyone happy, but I never really like stopped, slowed down and like really reflected on like who I am on a soul level. And, I'm really glad I did that because I enter into this next decade like feeling like I'm so much more connected with who I am as a person, right? I've found my voice in so many ways. I realized even just like with dating relationships, I was like holding in like my voice and my truth because I'm a people pleaser, right? As women, we become people pleasers, just want everyone to be happy and be non-confrontational. But even in my late 30s, I went through like a big shedding period, even with friendships and people, people I was like kind of, you just hold on to these people and finally when I was doing the inner work, realizing like, okay, I need to set boundaries. I need to take care of myself. And it's not about making sure everyone loves you and is happy with you. It's about making sure you love yourself. Right.
Yeah.
And so I had to work on that. And my 30s brought me so much like success and career-wise and travels and all the amazing things. And then like the second half of my 30s was really about like reconnecting with myself on a soul level. So I enter my 40s feeling really excited because I'm finally stepping into my own. I've launched this business. I wrote about my journey and I feel like I'm finally connecting with like my purpose on a soul level, which is really to help like, my book's called The Love Producer. And I really believe we all have the ability to be producers of love in this world, right? But it's all about connecting with yourself and, vibrating from that place of love within. Because when you do that, you're going to attract it in all that you do.
It's so amazing to hear you talk about yourself in that way. And then I'm envisioning what you shared earlier about this sort of burnt out version of yourself with your hair falling out and your eye twitching and the sweat. I mean, it's two different people. Completely two different people. And just knowing what's possible when you realize a experience, situation, job, whatever is not serving you anymore, and just where you can be if you step out of that and do some work, is that transformation is tremendous. Yeah,
thank you. People wouldn't know that was happening to me. I mean, people saw the eye twitching.
I think sometimes we don't even know. I think for myself, one of the blessings of the fertility journey was finding all these things about my health that were not optimal without even realizing it. And I remember speaking to one provider who's incredible and great, one of my thyroid doctors. And I was like, did I just get used to functioning on such a suboptimal level? Like, did I not even realize how shitty I'm feeling? And she's like, yeah, I think we all just operate in like these suboptimal ways, mentally, physically, emotionally. And we just get used to it and we kind of accept it.
Yeah. But your body talks to you.
Yeah,
right?
You're right.
When we slow down and listen to it.
When we slow down, that's the point.
Otherwise, it forces you to slow down.
Yes, I've been forced many times.
Yeah.
I think we all are. And I think your story is such a testament to the power of slowing down and the beauty of giving yourself time to do that work and self-reflect and understand, our subconscious more, understand our behaviors, our patterns, our choices, and what was driving that. And and I want to say that, I know that it's difficult to do that, but I think it is so important that we all do that. I think it's the only way to get truly realigned and reconnected and happy, healthy.
Yeah. I mean, it sounds so silly, but even like when I'm feeling like, because I act like I'm all zen, but I still got my, we're all humans. We all have an ego. We all have stress. I've still been conditioned that work has to be really hard and I drive myself crazy and, all that. But when I'm starting to feel like angst, I literally will be like, oh my God, Julie, just sit, close your eyes and breathe in silence for 5 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
And it's really so powerful.
Yeah, I know.
It sounds so simple, but actually like breath is what keeps us alive. And when you connect with your breath, it is so powerful.
Yeah. I think this time narrative is so huge too, because I know one I hold strongly still is like, I don't have enough time. I don't have time. I don't have time. Like even just day-to-day time. And so it's just say like stop, which literally takes probably like 5 seconds, but literally we have to prioritize that and make that make time to do that.
Yeah.
So you've mentioned your book. I want to talk all about your book, what that process was like for you, what people can expect from the book. I know you said it's coming out summer.
Yeah.
Okay.
7/7, July 7th.
Oh, love
2026,
that. Wow.
which is also my sister and her husband's anniversary. So I feel like
great day.
Yeah, I feel like that's good omen, right?
Did you know you always wanted to write a book, or was it?
No, I had no idea.
Okay. So it was an opportunity that presented itself to you.
It was all part of the journey. So when I first left The Bachelor, I'm like, I have a million creative ideas. I want to stop working for other people's fortune. I need to do my own projects, right? And so I had, I actually had developed a fictional rom-com loosely based on me. That was going to be a movie idea.
Oh.
Like 27 dresses kind of vibe. The girl who helps everyone else find love, neglects her own love life, life imitates art. And I actually developed it and we pitched to the studio.
Oh, wow.
And it almost happened. I was like, great, I'm going to make a movie about me. This is fun. This is great. And then it took a standstill. Like we hadn't written the script. I was going to partner with someone and do it. I had never written a script before, but he had just done his first feature. He ended up getting good press and getting booked up for a year. So he's like, I can't write it for another year. And I was like, I've never written a script. I can't do this, but I don't want to die. We got good feedback. They're like, come back when the script's done. I'm like, okay. So I was like, do I hire someone? Anyway, then I was like, maybe I write the book first, fictional still at this time. And simultaneously, I was starting to study hypnotherapy too, because I quit my job. And I was like, what do I do? Maybe I'll go to hypnotherapy school, because I've been getting more into meditation during COVID, right? I think when everyone was forced to slow down, that's when it first started for me. And then anyway, as I was growing on my spiritual journey, I was still writing this fictional book, and I kept getting guidance that actually I need to share my truth and my story. And there was so much fear and shame around that, as you'll read in the book, why. But I had to power through it. And I eventually switched gears and started writing the real story.
Wow.
And that came out much more easily for me. So for me, it became just part of my healing journey to write, and it became very therapeutic for me. And so again, I was kind of just writing then, not sure if I'd actually do it. So I was kind of working on fiction and nonfiction, but the nonfiction was coming out much more easily. I was like, I don't know if I'm going to do this for real. And then eventually I finally decided I would. And so when I finally decided I would for nonfiction, you actually do a book proposal, as you know. Oh,
yeah.
And so then I started putting together a book proposal. And I think because I still had some fear and shame around it, and I'm a perfectionist. I spent way too much time on this stupid proposal. But anyway, and then I eventually sent it out and got an agent. And then, the publishing process is a very slow process. So it's been a journey with that. But yeah, the timeline wise was a year and a half ago that I got the agent, and then she felt strategically we should wait a few months, and she tweaked the proposal herself. And then we pitched it, and I got a few offers,
Oh my
and
God, that's amazing.
and then picked one. Then the contract took like 6 months to sign. It's a long process.
Yeah.
But I finally have just finished it. So now's the fun part of like
I know.
marketing it and
my gosh.
teasing it. And it's a little
How do
juicy.
you feel? I can't wait to read it.
It's a little juicy.
It's so interesting to think about, like, it's almost this like push-pull of you probably were meant to tell your story, and that's why you were getting that guidance through meditation, but it was almost like you were going back to this comfort zone of telling other people's story, right? Because you wanted to write it in a fiction way.
Oh, hiding fear about the truth.
Yes.
Yes. And then I realized there's, when people used to ask me like, oh, is your goal to like produce movies and you just kind of fell into reality TV? I was like, no, actually, like to me, I'm so much more interested in like the real human story. And so actually like doing reality TV for me is like right up my alley because you're connecting with real humans because everyone has a story in them.
Yeah.
And everyone, I was helping craft these love stories and I'm like, yeah, actually, like there's something so much more powerful about sharing your truth, right? They say the truth will set you free.
Yeah.
And and we hide behind it a lot. And not just in like, in terms of like writing a book, but in terms of even you think about relationships and how many people like don't even have those truthful, honest, vulnerable conversations with their partners, right?
No, because there is so much fear. Yeah.
Yeah. Sometimes it's easier to keep your truth inside and suppress it than to like speak it out loud because it's scary or hurtful or I don't know, but
Shameful.
Yeah.
Or the stories that we tell ourselves about how people will receive our story also may be untrue. And like the importance of finding a safe space to do that.
Yeah. Mel Robbins' let them theory helped me. She's like, let them not like you. Let them judge you. I'm like, okay, Mel.
But that's such a big, even for you, what you were sharing earlier about being a people pleaser and wanting everyone to like love you, to then doing this hugely vulnerable thing and putting your story out there for everybody to read and to consume is pretty incredible.
Yeah.
How do you feel about it being out in the world soon?
Oh, I'm terrified. Yeah. It's definitely scary, but also like freeing, I think. Yeah.
Who would you say this book is for? Who do you envision it helping?
Bachelor Nation's gonna love it.
Are you getting juicy about stuff on the show? Or more your experience on the show? Oh, TBT. We have to wait and find out.
Yeah, I'm wondering. Okay. Yeah, listen, I'm a girl who created love stories. I grew up watching Cinderella and dreaming of my fairy tale love, right? The stories we've been fed as women. And then I went and manifested my dream job, creating fairy tales, creating 20-hour rom-coms and dreaming of my rom-com. And then, I think it's a good look at how we as women can create, these fairy tale ideas in our mind. And there's a part of me that got caught up in that.
Okay. So much to look forward to in terms of the book.
Yeah.
Okay, July 7th.
Yeah.
So aside from kind of promoting that and putting that in the world, what's next for you?
So on that journey, so now I have a business. So my book's called The Love Producer. And now I work as a love producer and I work one-on-one with women, helping them, doing coaching with them and hypnotherapy with them to help them be living in their truth and be coming from a place of love and so that they could attract the love that they desire.
I love that.
And I think love, a lot of people come to me for like romantic love, right? But I think as you go on the journey with me, you'll discover that's it's something much more deeper than that.
Yeah. And it's so different for everybody. I think just helping them like get to the honest vision of like who they really are and what the life they really want to live. I think often without doing that work, we are guided by the shoulds of what it should look like and what we should do. And
Yeah.
For a lot of people that it doesn't align. They're more, aligned with a less, I hate traditional because we want to be rewriting these things, but like a less traditional path.
Yeah. So I've also started I am starting, but I think by February I'll have started. I'm also have started a Leading Ladies Collective. And so, we do regular Zooms where we're coming together and I showcase different ladies and their stories. And then, I also do like different, guided journeys and things. And it's, it's a beautiful support group.
Oh my God. I think community is so huge. Just knowing we're not alone in this.
And then I'm also planning my first big retreat, which I'm going to be doing if it all pans out right at the Playa Escondida where we filmed Bachelor in Paradise for years. And so, I'm inviting women to come and let me be their love producer. And we're going to go on a journey for love. But during the days we're there, I'm bringing in different people who help me on my journey. So it's different hypnotherapist and breathwork facilitators and these different holistic modalities and workshops that we'll be doing to actually like break through those barriers.
Oh,
it's gonna be a mix of that, and we're gonna go on some dates, like group dates and excursions, and it's gonna be really fun. I'm actually really excited.
Is that going to be a 2026 thing?
Yeah,
as well?
Yes. I think probably October 2026. So. Check out my website, theloveproducer.com, and I'll have all the information on there.
Oh my gosh, you have a great year. You have a great year ahead.
Yeah, so there's like a lot unfolding right now. Yeah. I think I was so like in the book zone for a while that I was only kind of half doing this through word of mouth, and now I'm finally like fully
you can focus on it.
Doing it. Yeah.
Amazing. Well, so amazing to have you here and hear your story. I'm so glad we finally got to do this. Before we wrap up, I'd love you to just share one thing for someone listening that might be helpful in terms of like timeline pressure or surrender or trust, like one little nugget that you'd like people to kind of walk away from this episode with.
Women, first off, we're so much more powerful than we realize. We're literally a portal for birth and human creation. But also like we're a portal to connect with such a higher vibration of love. And actually, like when you open yourself up to connecting with that and you ask for signs and guidance and wisdom and help, there's this literal vibration of love and energy that actually is super powerful to help you on your journey. And so when you just slow down, ask for guidance, and just be open with curiosity. That's what I say. Be open with curiosity.
I love that word.
Because we're so much more powerful than we realize. And I've been like tapping into that more and more. And the more you stay open and curious, the more these like signs from the universe are going to come and things are going to unlock for you. And it's just like, it's really magical. Like we really actually are magical beings.
Yeah.
And I really want like people to realize that, because you get caught up in the grind of life and work and whatever. And actually like we are magical humans that could do crazy things, and time is an illusion.
Yeah, not that.
Yeah.
No, I so believe in that too. I really do think, we are very powerful beings if we can slow down and tap into that. So I love that you shared that.
I mean, I have so many really woo stories, but we'll say that for another time.
Well, so excited for you and everything that's coming up with your book release and your retreats and all the work that you're doing to support women. And
thank you.
Amazing. Just amazing journey.
Thank you.
Amazing journey. I can't wait for everybody to hear it.
Thank you. And I'm so excited for you.
Thank you. Almost there. Almost there.
Maybe the day it's airing.
Yeah, February. It'll be due in February.
Yeah,
I know. Couple more recordings. I'm like getting so big.
Oh my goodness! Then are you taking some time for yourself?
Yes.
Okay, good.
Yeah, I will. Yeah.
Good.
Yeah, kind of just gonna be in like mom land. Yeah.
Yeah. Yay.
So very exciting year ahead for both of us.
Yeah.
Thank you again.
If you guys are like me and wanting to be more mindful about what's in your products, how many toxins are in your products, and making sure that you're putting good things on your skin and into your body, I highly recommend Osea. I did a total revamp on all my products, and this is one I have been using and now is a staple in my bathroom. I particularly love their Ocean Eyes Age Defining Serum. I feel like I don't have bags under my eyes anymore. And I just feel really good putting this on my skin, knowing something good is going on my skin and into my body. So if you want to check out Osea's products, use our code QTCPOD10 to get 10% off your first purchase. Hey guys, I'm Beth. Thank you so much for tuning in to Quiet the Clock. If you want to hear more episodes and learn more about how to dismantle societal timelines, live life on your own terms, live life fully and authentically, subscribe to our channel on YouTube, and you can also follow us on Instagram and TikTok at Quiet the Clock Pod. You guys, I'm really excited. We just created all this amazing merch. And so if you're loving the podcast and you want to support our cause and continue to hear amazing episodes, please support us by buying some merch. I am living in these sweatshirts every day. We have a range of colors. We have hoodies, we have mugs, we have hats, we have journals. We have all of the things. And I love having them on because it's just a reminder to quiet the clock, to slow down, to like let life unfold and be happy. So there's meaning and purpose behind wearing it too, which is a nice reminder. So check out our website, quiettheclock.com, to get your merch. If this episode resonated with you, I would love for you to give Quiet the Clock a follow. We are on all streaming platforms, Apple Podcast, Spotify, Amazon Music, and YouTube. Like, follow, subscribe. Please leave us a review. Continue to join us for conversations on how to rewrite your own timeline and live life on your own terms.